This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lap. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Hey, 20 of us, that's 20 goons in them. Ice cream whip, triple school. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna blame me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'ma pour out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the bed until we all got them baguettes. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for...
Gordon's got the ground game. It's a coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll get a look at Melvin Gordon, fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15.
Get 180! 180! Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. You gonna get this, boy? You think you gonna get this? Behind!
Rivers now to throw on first down. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Nineteen yards right off the bat, and a quick first down. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. That's complete to Williams out of the backfield. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first. On first and 10, Rivers to Gordon out left. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll make it second down. And the offensive starters here for Los Angeles.
When the Chargers wanted to throw the football, the first guy they're going to look to, wide receiver Keenan Allen, who's bounced back from injury in 2016 to put together back-to-back Pro Bowl seasons, over 1,100 yards in each of them.
Melvin Gordon, the 2-time Pro Bowler, past the 20. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Melvin Gordon, his 11th touchdown of the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. So they start this game just like they won. Opening drive touchdown, a nice run there to finish it all.
Yeah, that's what we call an explosive run because of the distance. And being able to do that, that puts a little uncertainty in the minds of your opponent.
The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it's capped off by a touchdown run coming from Melvin Gordon. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. From the 32 now, here's first and 10. Now here's the first carry for Amir Abdullah. Credit the tackle there to Uchenna Nwosu.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short gain. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics.
And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 45-yard line. On first down, Abdullah. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys and continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Cousins from the gun on third. And he's able to find Diggs. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Adrian Phillips. And now look at him go. The 20, 10, and he brings this one back. It's a pick-6 and a Charger TD. Now this defense looking like they have come to play the pick-6, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visits. What do we hear during these drills? Pass. Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
That's the interception. That means everybody finds someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. As we count down through the final few weeks of the season, these guys have nothing to sweat about. They clinch the top spot, so the road to the Super Bowl runs through them.
And there's a natural inclination. Here, partner, to say, okay, a lot of guys aren't going to play down the stretch. We've clinched. We're ready to go. But there's another part where you say, let's show the league why we're the #1 team. Maybe you intimidate someone. Maybe you dissuade them from thinking that they can beat you in the playoffs by going out and being really impressive down the stretch.
Absolutely, and you want to take momentum into the playoffs. There's also pride on the line for these guys individually.
Yeah, momentum and pride. Yeah, I'd make room for them and put them both in uniform.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 26. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum.
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, Two hands. Get two hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away. Tuck it away because you've got to take care of the ball.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now Rivers throw into the hands of Gordon. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Open man, it's Allen. And he's got room. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Now Rivers. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Ben Gideon in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And keep your eye on that man. 4 sacks last week, 1 there here in the second quarter. He can be so disruptive.
So what was he doing in the first quarter? What was going on?
Took a nap.
I think he tried to lull him to sleep a little bit. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you've got me this week. No longer. And you know, with the 4 sacks last week, it's obvious he gets his in flurries.
3rd and goal for Rivers. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
A 22-yard attempt.
Badgley's kick is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. The Chargers, a team that's really been plagued by poor field goal kicking the last decade or so, but I think they feel they've solved their problems with Badgley.
I would say so. He went 15 for 16 in 10 games last season, undrafted out of Miami. And remember, he had 5 field goals in the playoffs against the Baltimore Ravens.
One more game still to get to in Week 15. It comes up tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. A lot of Manning fingerprints on this one, the Colts and the Saints from New Orleans. And an alley to run. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down. To throw again on 2nd down. Cousins.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit. This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
A big gain of 28 as the drive continues. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Cousins throw complete to Thielen. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. This is a screen to Abdullah. That 2nd down play nets a -4. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the 1st down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Cousins on first down. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on second and goal, back deep. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
You better talk to your boy. You better talk to your boy to protect you.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
They need to reverse the trend. The last two plays have gone backwards. Now it's third and goal. Cousins. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And Bailey able to knock it through. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Now they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a third down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Nasir Adderley, the rookie from Delaware. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
Push him back. Push him back.
Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Gordon, a Pro Bowler for the second time last season, 885 yards, 10 touchdowns, and that was only in 12 games played a season ago. And he also switched jersey numbers in the offseason from 28 to 25, and 25, that's the number he wore when he was dominating the Big Ten college gridiron for the Badgers of Wisconsin. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier.
Gordon loses the football. It's loose. And the Vikings pick up the football. The 40, 30, 10. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. This defense, Charles, they needed some type of a spark to help get them back in this game. I think they just got their spark.
No doubt about it, and you know that's all they discussed. How can we get ourselves moving again? How can we get our team going? This definitely qualifies.
Extra point up and good by Bailey. And that slices the lead down to 17-10. This will be taken short. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now, 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on, and remember what I said. It's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
Yeah, my bad.
Let's go, man.
Melvin Gordon and the Chargers ready for their next possession. And he's sure looking like a lock for a 1,000-yard season. Don't know if he's going to get it in this game, but he'd probably like to just to get past that point.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, as you noted, there's still time, still opportunity. There's still more games to be played. So, yeah, it's not a lock. But barring injury, it certainly looks like he's going to get there. And what an accomplishment that is. Anytime you get over 1,000 yards, you're celebrated in the NFL.
It's been quite a season. Still a couple chapters left in that book, though. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Working out of the gun, Rivers. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards there, first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 11 yards there, first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
And he's got this down to the 35. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure, and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Well, we had a number of good games in the afternoon sessions, but this Sunday nighter might top them all. So we come up here on 1st and 10. Rivers to throw it. Throwing the out route and complete. That's Green. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 19 yards there on the catch and run. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it in, throw it, go play action, and take your shot at the end zone.
He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will. We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And he's got it. And he will have the 1st down before he's brought down at the 3. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal. A field goal could get them the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. From the gun, Rivers. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. That one intended for Keenan Allen, but it'll be 2nd and goal. One man in the backfield, that's Gordon, 2nd and goal.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Here's Rivers. Got a man, it's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Chargers have taken the lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
And now out comes Minnesota. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now this throw caught left side. A really nice gain of 25 yards. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Kirk Cousins last year started all 16 games, but only led the Vikes to just one fourth-quarter comeback like he's trying to do here.
They don't want it, fellas. They don't want it. Keep playing on, fellas.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Casey Hayward makes the tackle. The battle in the trenches never more important than right now. This is 3rd and inches. From the gun, here's Cousins. His throw caught right around the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. throwing, Cousins. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season, as they can now even this game here in the fourth quarter with the extra point. A very important extra point there, up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the fourth. Nothing separating these two sides. 24 all our score as he sends this one away. This will be taken about the 12. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. There's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Now Rivers. Throw to the right here to Gordon. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
So that flag will cost them 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Following the penalty, Abdullah. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. Second down.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
Now Cousins. Over the middle, he's got Treadwell. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Here's Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on first and goal. They'll try to run it in with Abdullah. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on second and goal. On second down, this is Madison. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Alexander Madison, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes.
Hey, that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock, and I'm thinking, there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off. Now, on the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced a 2-minute drill for, right?
Yeah, you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But, boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity. They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution.
All right, they picked up yardage, but they've got to get up to the line of scrimmage and spike it. They've got one timeout left. Want to save it.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. Now Rivers. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Virgil Green is tight end, the intended receiver. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
But now it's 3rd down. The pressure drops off as they look to throw. He's going to let it fly. Incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds now. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. Now Rivers on 4th down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Vikings are going to win this football game. This is a duel. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So for the Vikings, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the home team here, they fall to 8-6 with the loss. And they will try to get back in the swing of